Welcome back. 3 character themes with a bit of variety this time: quirky, threatening, moody. Today, we got it all. Walking around Gaia, the name's kinda grown on me, we have a chance to meet an enemy called Mystery Ninja. If we defeat her and talk to her in the right way, she will join us. Her name is Yuffie, she's 16, and her dad is the ruler of a place called Hutai. Yuffie is a materia hunter. She initially tries to steal our materia on multiple occasions because she thinks this will help her home to rise to its former glory. She's mischievous, spirited, and, on occasion, a bit obnoxious. This track is quirky, bouncy, and lighthearted, all attributes which fit Yuffie very well. I have a feeling there are sister tracks to this one in other FF games like Aiko's theme and Riku's theme. They are both similar characters to Yuffie and both have similarly fun, uplifting themes. But we don't actually need to venture out to other games to find similarities. The track Stolen Materia uses a big part of Shinobi. This track reminds me of a musical number in something like a Disney movie. It has a clear song structure, verse, bridge, chorus in this case, and I can just imagine Yuffie dancing around Hutai, singing about how she's gonna travel the world and save her home. Interestingly, this track and the second optional character theme, which we will talk about in this episode too, are not named after the respective character. I don't know if there's a reason for this, maybe it's just to avoid spoilers on the soundtrack album or something, which, now that I think about it, is completely idiotic, since Yuffie and Vincent are both listed in the game manual. Anyway, what an incredibly stupid digression. The fact is, I really love Descendant of Shinobi. It's just a very happy song, and it's easily in my top 10 favorite Final Fantasy tracks. As if this OST didn't have enough of them, here's another iconic track. We haven't really talked about Sephiroth that much yet, which is surprising since he's probably one of the most popular villains in all of gaming. It's hard to talk about Sephiroth without getting into spoilers, so let's just set the scene. 5 years before the story begins, he's the most famous and probably the most powerful soldier in the world. Then he goes crazy, burns down Nibelheim, kills a lot of people, and vanishes. Now, suddenly, he's reappeared and seems to be on a mission. Sephiroth is mysterious, threatening, and single-minded, and so is his theme. Although most of us probably think of a one-winged angel when we think of Sephiroth, for 99% of the game, this track is what we associate with the main villain of the game. This simple melody appears everywhere. Obvious examples are in Birth of God and Attack of the Weapon. Others are more subtle. I didn't even notice some of the instances, like this part in Anxious Heart, until someone told me about it. This melody also appears prominently in perhaps the most well-known track in any Final Fantasy game, One Winged Angel. Of course, this track is not only defined by its main melody, it creates a pretty great atmosphere with instrumentation and probably the most distinct thing about it, the heartbeat-like rhythm. To me, this always meant one thing: Sephiroth is here and things are about to get very serious. The choir and bells give the whole track a semi-religious feeling, which kinda makes sense, cause after all, Sephiroth is trying to become a god. As I said, One Winged Angel will always be the signature Sephiroth theme, but while I love the complexity of Uematsu's more bombastic and monumental tracks, simplicity can be pretty great too. Sometimes all you need are a couple of bells and an ominous choir. And here we have another optional track for our second optional character. And he's a bit of an odd one. So in the basement of the Shinra mansion there's a locked room. If we manage to open a safe, which is a whole thing in itself, and defeat an optional boss, we obtain a key. With it we unlock the door and find a coffin. Inside is Vincent. He's made some mistakes in his past, which lead to his beloved's supposed death, and he locks himself in his tomb to atone for what he believes to be his sins. When we meet him and he hears us mention Sephiroth, he decides to join us, because his past is connected to the man in the black cloak. Vincent is brooding, secretive, and deeply traumatized, and this shows in his theme. The music has a very classical feel to it. It almost sounds like a modern version of a Baroque piece, if that makes sense. It mainly consists of guitar chords broken into arpeggios with a very simple melody. This main melody is bound to the chords. What I mean by that is basically the first note of every triplet is highlighted, which creates the melody. The only other instrument in this piece is what I think might be a glass harp, which creates a kind of an eerie whine. It fits because it provides the track with an unsettling undertone right from the start. I don't know if this one is really popular, but I have to say it's a bit of a filler track to me. This is Uematsu basically on autopilot, with just a few chords broken into arpeggios, and that's pretty much it. Not bad by any means, just a bit underwhelming. Sorry. And that was it for part 17. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for part 18.